Welcome back to the channel. In the last two videos we talked about these full bar shapes, the F shape and the D shape. And of course the open shape, which I call the flat bar, or the G shape because we're tuned to open G. We also talked about different rhythm patterns such as that little boom chuck or boom chick, whatever you want to call it, where you play the single string followed by a pinch, two fingers on the second and first strings, and you alternate your thumb between the fourth and third strings usually. Then we talked about working that in with a alternating thumb roll, which sounds like this. So you should be familiar with all of these basic rolls. If not, go back and look at those previous two videos and perhaps some of my earlier videos if you're not familiar with the square roll. I did a number of videos on the square roll when I started teaching melody playing for different songs. Those are helpful for our bar chord backup technique. But there are a number of other rolls and chord shapes that you can use for backup. Today I want to talk about this idea of removing the fourth string and just playing on the first, second, and third strings. So we'll start with a G chord here. We've been using Blue Ridge Cabin Home as our exercise song, and we can continue doing that, but this is applicable to a number of other songs if you're in the key of G, and there are a lot of them. Musically, it's very strong to have that root, but you don't have to. You can have the other parts of the chord as your single string as well. For this partial G, we'll call it, we're going to take the fourth string ring finger off, and we're going to do a up-down roll or forward reverse roll, starting with the third string. So we're going to get this. I'll move this out of the way so you can see it better. We talked about the up-down roll in a previous video as well. So now we have this partial bar chord here, and we can play an 8-note forward reverse roll as a good backup. Before we start with the strum machine, I want to add something here. When you're going up the neck from this position to this position, it can be hard to get that last note in. Okay, it's either muted or you have to slide it. What we can do, we can go back to just a 7-note roll, and that's a great way to have a pause so that you can get to that next chord and you don't end up having a muted note at the end, which would be the 8th note of the previous measure. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. Now in Blue Ridge Cabin Home, we actually have two measures for each of those. I just did an example using one to kind of let you hear what it sounds like without taking up too much time. So let's go to Blue Ridge Cabin Home. We're going to go at 55 beats per minute. This is a song that if you've seen my videos, we've worked on a lot before, using different rolls as well. And now we're going to use the forward reverse roll with the 3-fingered bar chord. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So there you have it, the forward reverse roll using the 3-fingered bar chords. What about the other shapes. Let's talk about that. We've got our D shape, which, as I mentioned in the previous video, is a great starting point for your G chord up here. So we could do that, and then we could even go up here to C, where our pinky is now on the 14th fret and our index finger is on the 12th fret. That might be a better reference point because your 12th fret is your double dot, so that's easier to see. So you keep that partial D shape. Okay, we're taking off the 4th string, which means you probably don't want to play it, but sometimes it'll work. But we're going to go starting with the G chord, which is going to be your index finger at the 7th fret, 3rd string, middle finger is at the 8th fret, 2nd string, and pinky is at the 9th fret of the 1st string. Then we're going to slide up to the 12th fret with the index finger. That'll be our reference point. And since we're up here already, let's just keep the same shape and go to a D chord up on the 14th fret of the 3rd string. And then you could slide back into an open position, or you could just go back down here. You could even do the classic or something like that. Let's try Blue Ridge Cabin Home at 55 using this shape here. The D shape, but it's a G chord when you anchor your index finger there at the 7th fret. And I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to add the old 15-note roll. We looked at it as a forward roll, 15-note roll way back in the early series, the easiest banjo roll. Now we're going to use this for this up-down or forward reverse roll. It's going to go like this. We're going to play the first measure of each of these and include that first string at the end. So a full 8 notes. The second measure, we're going to do the exact same pattern, forward, reverse. And we're going to stop at the 3rd string, which gives us time to slide or move into our next chord. Let's try it at 55 beats per minute.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You can find other places to play these. We've talked about the flat bar shape, for instance. Sometimes when you're playing backup, you might want to keep it within a certain region of the neck. In other words, you could play the G here. You could go to the C here that we talked about earlier. That's the F shape, right? You could go to the D here with the same F shape. And then you're back here. So all of your chords are between the 7th and 12th fret. That can be good for kind of a consistent sound, but you may want to start down here and slide way up here for effect. It all depends on what the other members of the band are doing and your personal choice. So now I'm going to finish off with one more thing. You don't have to go to the 5th string for this forward reverse roll. If you exchange the 5th string and play the 3rd string instead, you get this, which isn't a bad roll, especially if the 5th string doesn't sound as good with the chord. You could be playing in a key where, let's say if I started playing an E, for instance, and I hit that 5th string, I wouldn't want to do that. So if I was playing an E chord, I might grab flat bar on the 9th fret. If you're playing and you hit that, that's pretty dissonant. So in this case, you'd want to exchange the 5th string for the 3rd and just play it. So I'm going to show you how to use these geographic regions, if I can call them that, up and down the neck. I'm going to play through this at 55 beats per minute. And remember, if you're playing a G here, and somebody else is playing a G here, and somebody else is playing a G here, it's going to work. It's going to be okay. I'm just showing you this so you can kind of get an idea of groupings to practice. So here we go. I'll start with an open chord back up, and then I'll go slowly but surely up the neck. We'll see what happens.
1, 2, 3.
And you can even continue farther up the neck into what I call the stratosphere of the banjo, and we may tackle that in another video. For now, I hope you enjoyed these shapes. You've got your full 4-fingered shape that we talked about in the last couple of videos. We've got your 3-finger shape, which we talked about in this video. And the 2-finger shape I actually went over a long time ago in one of the easiest chord videos, I think. And that, if you want to extrapolate from this, fancy word, just take off the 3rd string now. There's your G chord. There's your C, D, G. As you take off the fingers, you want to remember that you must be careful hitting these strings that you were hitting before. When I go to the 2-string chord, here's the G, took the ring finger off, took the middle finger off, I'm left with these 2 fingers. You probably want to go to a different roll pattern, like a forward roll maybe. 2-1-5, 2-1-5, 1-5. Or variations of that. Doesn't mean it has to be the same thing all the way through your break. You can go 2-1-5, 2-1-5, 1-5, 1-2-5, 1-2-5, 1-5. A lot of variations. You're limited by your own creativity. Get with it, get on the metronome or the strum machine, and just keep working on this. It takes a long time to get it nice and smooth with even notes, but you will get there. See you in the next video.